Hello, Gilda's Club. Welcome back to my colorful studio. Sorry I missed you last week. I was taking care of a relative. But thankfully I'm back and I'm ready to show you a really cool technique that you can use on a variety of projects. Today we are making rosettes. Rosettes that can be used as brooches, as decor on hats, as decor on quilts, to decorate baskets, to make wreaths, anything really. Rosettes are fun and beautiful and make use a lot of scrap materials. So I think you're going to really enjoy this, and I think that it's going to be a go-to project the next time you're putting together something beautiful. So let's do that now. To make your rosettes, you're going to need any scrap fabric, preferably in pieces of 20 inches or more. Any material will do, stretchy, cotton, anything. You're going to need a needle, whatever size you're comfortable working with, thread, scissors, and maybe glue if you're going to be sticking it to something. So, first order of business, we're going to need to cut a strip. Now I've got this piece here left over from a quilt kit, more trim than I needed. So I'm going to use this. This is about a little over 4 inches wide. This is 4.5 inches wide. You want at least a 3-inch piece because we are going to fold it over like that. Fold it in half. But first, let's get our measurements down. I would like it to be a little over 20 inches. I'm going to go with a full 25 inches. You can kind of eyeball it. There's no rules here. So I've got this nice long strip now. Next order of business, I am going to cut this off into a rounded edge like that. Rounded edge like that. Then I'm going to load up my thread. I like to work with it doubled, but you can do it any way you like. Load that up. You won't need a whole bunch, so take whatever you're sure you will not tangle. That's the tough part, right? I usually say about an arm's length is safe. And since I'm working with it doubled, I will take double an arm's length if I want a long piece. Now, if you're having trouble holding these together, you can pin your two sides together, but I'm just going to do it open like this. So start here. This is your folded edge. I'm gonna make a little knot here. Whoops. I'll just do it one more time. To make a knot, you can stitch through and then catch yourself in that loop here. Yeah, and then we're just going to very carefully start loading up our needle, going through both layers. Like that. Because to make a rosette, you have to gather your fabric. You want it to be ruffly like that. And then you're just going to continue down the row, working on the raw edge, just gathering. It's fun. You're just kind of folding, 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 folding over and over. Don't let yourself get caught around the other side. Okay. Make sure your line is still straight and just keep folding, folding, So I've got my needle still on the thread. I haven't tied off because I just want to make sure that I like the shape this flower is going to be. So nice and gathered. Let me start rolling it from the center. Just kind of winding it like that. If you like the appearance of your flower, then you can tie off the same way you did when you started. You can do it right into this end here. Just stitch a stitch and catch your needle in the loop. There you go. Now we will wind that up carefully, ensuring that everything's lined up, and when we go through, we're going to catch all the layers. So we won't cut off here. We'll just keep sewing with that thread. Skip any unnecessary steps. Just go right through the center of that flower there. Doesn't take very many stitches, unless you're going to be putting it on a high-use garment, like sewing it onto a blazer or something, and you want it to stand up in the wash. Most of the time, you're just not going to need to do that much to it. Let's see. Could use another stitch in here. There we go. I think that looks pretty cute. I'm going to tie off now in the same way we did it before. Do a stitch, catch your needle in that loop, and tie a simple knot. Stitch in the loop, simple knot. I can trim that off now. Actually, something I always do is I bury my thread in the project. It's a nice, neat finish. Now, cut it off. Careful not to snip your project. And there's one rosette. This one's a pretty big one, kind of a dramatic one. Let's see the effect when we use thinner material, or just one layer of material instead of two, because this is folded over. So I've cut myself a little piece of cotton gingham that has this really fun little rough edge here. I'm actually going to use that as part of the design. This piece is 2 inches wide and a little under 20 inches long. So I'm going to first fold that here, round my edge, then I'm going to start sewing right up here. Knot my string by catching that loop here. And then I'm just going to sew like I did before. So I've completely gathered my whole little piece here, and it looks like with about 15 inches by 2 inches, you can make a really cute round rosette. So I think what I'm going to do with this one is I am going to real quick just whip stitch this together so that it kind of lays flat like that. I really like that, almost like a little fan. Just whip that closed real quick, and the side you're stitching on can be your wrong side, the side that does not face out. You see, sometimes I'm even I'm even getting inspirations during a video. I was not planning to do it this way. I was going to do it just like the other one, but I love how this looks, this happy yellow gingham. And I'm going to just real quick stitch across here because I can feel it getting a little loose, and I want to make sure that I keep that wonderful like pleating that I've got. And watch where my loop is, because I can very easily just catch a piece of the fabric in there. See, it wants to catch. And then I'll just do one more stitch, catch that loop, go through it, do it again, bury my thread, and cut it off. This would make a really cute barrette for a little girl. It would make a fun detail on a piece of clothing if you're sewing something, or a nice little 3D effect on a quilt. See, it's just so happy, and I actually really love this rough edge here. Pretty fun. So that's another way to do a rosette. Now naturally, the width of your fabric, this is 2 inches of fabric. If you did 1 inch, you'd naturally have half that. If you did 3 inches, you'd have a lot more than that. The wider you make your rosette, you are probably going to want to make it longer too, so it's not stumpy, you know? That's 2 different styles. Now what can we do with these? Let's have a look. How about sewing it to a safety pin and using it as a brooch on a simple coat? Or how about adding a little flair to a hat? Really, the possibilities are endless. I hope you enjoyed that, and I'm sure that you probably have a million ideas in your head right now of how you could use this process, different materials you could try, all sorts of stuff. So get creative, figure out what you'd like to do with them, and then just have fun. Maybe even add a couple buttons, work it into any project. See you next week. Oh, wait, no, that's not true. Next week is the 4th of July. We're taking that week off, but I'll see you the week after that, and hopefully someday soon we'll be able to meet up again. So stay safe, Gilda's Club, and have a wonderful 4th of July.